Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Today I'm going to be talking about declaring and decreeing a new you. It's about unwiring how you used to be and intentionally putting out who you want to be with faith that you're going to be that person. And right when you do that, you start embodying that person. So keep tapping in, because that's what we're going to be talking about, declaring and decreeing a new you. So I've been reading this really nice book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, y'all. It's been super useful for me because it's been talking about how to break the habit of be yourself, how to lose your mind and create a new one. And what that means is the way that you've been being is a result of your thoughts that leads to moods, that leads to temperaments, that leads to personality traits. And if you change the way that you think, you could change the way that you feel, and you could change the way you bring out your feeling in the world, which means you then change your personality, how you live in this personal reality. So today, I'm gonna be talking about unwiring your brain. I'm going to be talking about declaring and decreeing a new you. And what that means is first you have to see where you are before you can go where you want to go. You have to admit to how you've been so far, where you are. So this morning we did the review of the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. All you got to do is go to edtalksdaily.com/audible and you get a free audiobook. So I'm going to be talking about this. It's pretty interesting. Share this podcast to 5 friends, and when you're done, comment done. All right? Share this podcast, send it to somebody via text, and let them know this is really dope. Whether you're listening or you're watching live on Instagram during the weekdays at 12 p.m. on my page, The Holistic Motivator, share this video or podcast to 5 friends and comment done. All right. Let's get down to it. Declaring and decreeing a new you first starts with admitting. Okay, so it talks about this in chapter 11 of the book, admitting. So you have to see where you're at and then have a vision of where you can possibly go and then put forth the faith in the works to make that vision come true. So once you declare and decree, it's also about not just saying this is how I've been, but also saying this is how I'm going to be. And then putting forth the works to get there. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm going to walk you through a little review. I did a review earlier with the tribe, but I'm going to walk you with a review of what the book talks about, okay? So tap into this. This was really good this morning. So the first part of the book starts with getting your mind at a state of relaxation. So first you have to be able to slow down your brain waves. If your brain waves aren't slowed down, if you are operating in beta mode, high beta mode, which is like you have a lot to do, a lot in your mind, there's going to be a chance that it's hard for you to actually really be in the mind state where you could change your mind. You have to be able to be at a lower state. So you have to come from what they call beta, which is thinking, higher thinking mode. You got to go down to alpha. Okay? So that's why they say it's best to do this right in the rising. So you got to see where you was, but you have to be able to see. You have to be in silence to see. It's hard to see in noise. Why? When there's too many things going, it's hard to focus. Have you ever been like in a crowd of people and you try to focus on something and it's hard for you to focus? Why is it hard for you to focus? Because there's too much external stimuli coming. Have you ever tried to like sit down and pray and you try to pray, but it's hard to pray? Why? Because there's a lot of external stimuli going on. So have you ever gotten a moment where you just heard a voice and you was in a lot of silence? You just felt something. You felt like you should do something. Your intuition, something spoke to you. That happens in silence. So a lot of times we try to have conversations with God in noise, but God is in silence. In the wind, like in nature, like the silent thing in the trees. There's signs all over and just natural flow of things. So in chaos, it's hard to communicate. So if we could get our minds in peace, it's easier to communicate what we want to change and actually have the help to change it. So sometimes you have to, if you're in chaos internally, you might have pesticides, you might have worms, you might be backed up, your colon might be backed up. And I said pesticides, that's not a plant. My bad, I said the wrong thing. Anyways, nature, right? Pretty much your own internal gut pesticides. Well, you have, okay, forget the word. You have toxins in your body. And unless you clear out those toxins, there's too much chaos for you to communicate. So a lot of times you gotta detox your body to clean out your gut so you can communicate. That's one thing. So they're like being on a mountain for 40 days, not eating certain foods for the 40 days to build a habit, and being in silence so you could tap in. Think of that like meditation, right? Like if you watch anime, like the Avatar state, right? They put this in modern media. So many different things, so many different references. How does all of these stick together? Like, you talk about the mountain, 40 days, 40 nights. You're talking about Avatar, and then now you're talking about detoxing. What does that have to do? Well, you see, you got to clean out. You have to have clarity for you to be able to really communicate and make some changes. So that's what I meant by it's hard to manifest in dark clouds. In dark clouds, it's hard to manifest. Now, that's the development period, right? So you're gonna be tested, boo, right? So when you do go on the mountains and stuff and you're gonna go in your peace, sometimes in life you're gonna have temptations, right? Temptations help you get stronger because it strengthens your willingness to keep moving, to do what you wanna do. Temptations, though we think it's something to stare us, to make us astray, is actually only there to see how bad we really want it and how dedicated we're to the task, the goal, or who we want to be. That's what temptations serve as. It's like, yo, let me see how dedicated you are to the vision. So I'm going to place something that's supposed to deter you if you're not serious. Now, if you fall for the deterrent, it means you're either not in the mind state of seriousness, or if you deter all the way, then it means you're not serious about it. So there's forces that sends out temptations in life to straighten your character, that if you're serious, you can handle what's gonna come at you. Or say if you're not serious, do something else. As some people either quit or they keep going regardless of those temptations. And they make the choices that not all the sometimes they give in, but they keep pushing themselves out of it, right? These people operate out of the heart. They have courage. Their hearts are willing, right? Courage is of the heart. Sadness affects the heart. Courage strengthens it. So those people have the fire to keep moving forward, right? So even though those tests are going to come, they keep moving. Even so, sometimes you get a bad grade on the test, but there's something called, you got to declare and decree the wrong to make it right. So this is where we get into the subject. Sometimes we're given tests and we fail the test, but because the infinite source, because God is so forgiving, you just have another chance. And forever and ever, you can keep moving forward. I don't know why we forgot that concept of forgiveness forever. Like, think about it. You can always admit, you can let it go, and then you could grow. We tend to focus on, I did the wrong. I don't really think about this. How come, since we were kids, we were always taught that we did wrong, like this is wrong, but nobody teaches you that even if you did it wrong today, tomorrow is another day, and you can make it right. To have enough faith to say, oh, I have been this way, but I can actually transform as a being. No, like there isn't that. We have an emphasis on the wrongs, but we don't have the emphasis on the forgiveness of moving forward. So you get what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you messed up. People tend to like focus on the negatives because we live in people like to go in that. But yo, did you know you can actually make this thing right though? Did you know that there's like an infinite forgiveness for you out here? Did you know that there's love for you no matter how many times you mess up? Like, are you conscious of that one? Right? So both sides of it. You have to tend to the vision. But at the same time, sometimes you get pulled back, you get pulled away. You have to admit that you gotten led astray, declare, and decree. You get what I'm saying? It's a balance, man. So discipline isn't just about you beating yourself up. Discipline is about getting back on track. In fact, discipline is not about beating yourself up at all. Discipline is getting you back on track. Sometimes the tools that are used is beating yourself. Somehow it just works. I guess we try to make the concept of like when somebody hits you as a kid into an emotional thing. Beating yourself up emotionally doesn't really help that much, but disciplining yourself mentally works. So when your parents discipline you, they hit you with something. Some people say they're beating you up, but the way they discipline you, if they're doing it constructively, sometimes they exert force, it's probably for your own good. But when your parents is like beating you with like emotions that just doesn't feel right, that's torture. That's kind of like beating you up. You could call somebody for that one. That's different. Think about it. If you discipline your mind rather than beat it up, which one would be better? Catch my drift right now. Disciplining your mind is saying, let's get back in order. You have a structure. You have a plan. You're like, okay, you're not going to go out because you've been so you're not going to go out because you need to focus on this and you haven't been focusing on this. So you say, here's the thing. We're getting boundaries to going out because this is what we need. We're giving boundaries to this food because this is what we need. This is discipline. It's knowing what you need and saying, you can do better, bro. Come on. And sometimes you got to even kick yourself a little bit. Like, even when you don't feel like it, like, yo, get up, bro. Get your ass up. Get up. Go do it. You got to tell yourself that. That's discipline. But beating yourself up is all day you just hitting yourself in the mind and just saying, man, I messed up. We could only do that for a little bit. You have permission to do that for a little bit. But as soon as you got back in your power, discipline and move on. Declare the faults and then take forth an action. Okay, so how to lose your mind and create a new one. From this morning session, it was really deep. You got to tell yourself, okay, this is how I've been. Okay, I have been very angry and resentful towards certain people because of the way I'm perceiving that they're acting towards me. That's just a random, I think we all can attest to this at some point of our lives, if we're gonna be honest, me especially, right? It's like, I have been angry and resentful about this person because of how I perceive that they're dealing with me. We all have been there at some point. That we have to say, okay, I am accepting that. I am declaring that this is how I've been. You could say, I have been holding this person in my heart and feeling resentful towards them. And I'm forgiving myself from letting that emotion be a burden to me and them. Or just be a burden to me and what I can create. Because at the end of the day, if they don't know you resent them and you're angry at them, they're not even getting hurt. So I am forgiving myself. And I'm also asking for forgiveness for putting forth this energy in the world. Because I am love, I am peace, and I'm grateful. You know what I mean? And now I'm stepping into that love, that grace, and that peace. And I am no longer being that. And I'm having faith that all of this will come true because of who I serve or what I believe in. See, you declared, you decreed a new way of being. You declared how you reacted, you got in touch with it. Now you move forward by saying, this is how I'm going to be, and trusting that this is going to happen. Man, y'all share this to 5 people right quick. Let's get this out here, man. Let me see if I can share. You got to declare and decree. That's awesome, Daphne. That is, that book was really powerful. She said she actually did that. Yes, me too. I had, when we was doing the meditation, after I guided, I spent some time with me, And I did do that. Felt really relieving. So imagine if you meditated, you got yourself at a peak state, and you did that every day, y'all. So I see Daphne, Aisha, Adrian. This is like Rising Prime Part 2, y'all. Rising Prime Part 2. Karis Jefferson, you gotta join the tribe. Come on, Queen, you gotta tap in. We've been growing. Karis on Facebook. So now we have to declare and decree a new version of ourselves. So, we have an afternoon session, yo, the sequel, bro. It just, I've been consciously thinking it like that. Yo, what we talk about, the Rise Prime session, I make a podcast that's right next to it. So you guys are getting like the whole, and then I put it back on the app. It's like, it's intentional too, because this is pretty much the afternoon session. Right, so we talked about this, we did the meditation. The meditation for what I'm talking about, if you're listening, is on my website, theholisticmotivator.com/holistic lifestyle tribe. In fact, we're gonna leave the page open for everybody listening. You can tap into just the guided meditations. It's gonna be a freebie. It's gonna be a freebie. And we got, if you tap into the app, all of that is there, y'all. Yo. So, what do you have to declare? What are the emotions right now that you have to declare that you've been limiting emotional state, survival emotions that you've been letting rule your life unconsciously or consciously because you haven't necessarily took the action steps to unmemorize them, all right? So we're gonna think about this again because I want to make sure that those people tapping in on the podcast can actually get the benefit of that as well. So we're going to tap into a couple of emotions, right? And you're going to think about, have you been experiencing these emotional states recently, continuously, all the time? All right, so let me share them out with you. Get your journal, pick them out. I'm going to pull them up. Oh. Man, we are growing every day, y'all. Think about this. Can you not grow if you just put good stuff in your mind? Think about it, though. If you do this, like it's your job, like to grow, how many people do you think are actively doing this? I want you to realize that you are you're part of a special club to begin with. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing woo-woo about this, but you're part of like top people who actually take this seriously. Think about it. I didn't take this seriously. So I know that, yo, this is like being at a like higher state of like, yo, I'm focused about my growth, y'all. Like that is big, yo. That is huge. Okay? Like the fact that you're focused. So catch up on the book, those reviews, check those reviews out on the app. Go to the book club. All right, let's get back to it for those of you tapping in on the podcast, okay? So you got to recognition is like reviewing every day. I'm going to go through these review questions for the podcast. The review questions are this. What kind of person have I been? What kind of person have I been? Write that down. What type of person do I present to the world? When you go out, what does one side of my gap look like? When you go out and you interact with people, how do you present yourself? And then how do you feel inside? What kind of person am I really like inside? Next, is there a feeling that I struggle with over and over again daily? How would my closest friends and family describe me? Is there something I hide about myself from others? And what part of my personality do I need to work on improving? What is one thing I would change about myself? Okay? Now, based on those questions, those are there. You could go back and so you could write those. So now you're going to pick one of these emotional states, survival emotions. Do you experience any of these every day? If you do, you're going to write that down and write a statement, a declarative statement, declare that you've been enduring this thing. So you'll not be punished by the emotion, for the emotion. There isn't a force that's just making bad things happen to you because you did something or because you feel a way. you are punished by the emotion, because the emotion has a frequency, a wave that causes something to your own body, your being, your aura, how you feel. So it's not a sin to do these things, as in these are what you're getting punished for. It's a sin against you because these things punish you by doing them. So it isn't like someone is saying you're bad. It's just that when you do that, it hurts your body because there's a frequency to everything. It's like, for instance, let's take gluttony. Sometimes I eat a whole bunch of chocolate and food and late night, and I know I shouldn't do it. I do it. I pay for that. God ain't like, yo, punishment. No, my body is, I just wake up bloated. I wake up sluggish. I wake up tired. And I also feel a little bit bad because I just did that. Like, we get what I'm saying? Let's think about it. This is TMI, but it's relatable. So I'm like a TMI person anyways. So it doesn't really matter. All right. So TMI is, have you ever had sex with someone and you regret having sex with them and you was like, I shouldn't have had sex with this person. Like, what did I get my energy into? Yeah. You did not, like, nobody's punishing you for having sex with them. It's just now you attached to their energy and you kind of messed up. You know what? So you're not punished for your sin, you're punished by your sin. If it perpetuated a trauma, you're punished by it. You get what I'm saying? It's like, for instance, sometimes I drink, but now, so I drink more wine and maybe beer than I drink hard liquor. And when I do drink hard liquor, I don't drink that much. I don't want to get drunk because it's just been kind of like really bad. As in, I feel bad. It doesn't feel good the next day. I feel, ugh. So I'm a little bit chill with the mimosas. You know what I'm saying? Because it's against my own body. I know I'm going to feel a certain way. Nobody's going to punish me for it. With the decision that I would have made that night, you know how you have a little bit too many mimosas and now you kind of spent $250 and you're like, wait, I spent $25 yesterday. How did I spend $250? What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. It's just you were intoxicated in this moment and you made a bad decision. So guess what? What that action affected you, your pockets. Now you're like, dang, I affected me a lot of ways. So guess what? Did somebody punish you? No, you punish yourself with the decision. So discipline, declaring what you've done against you, honing it, declaring it, and now saying, okay, I'm going to ask for help so I can do better. I'm going to tap into my higher self and say, listen, Ed, I know you're stronger than this. Tapping into your higher self is really like communicating to God as well. Same thing. What do I mean by that? Let me explain that. This is it. When you say a prayer like, God, I ask for forgiveness for what I've done, and I ask for the strength to do better. When you say, Ed, I'm letting go of what I just did against myself, and I'm getting stronger, I'm going to do much better tomorrow. It's the same thing. Saka vela boss. Na bule man. It's sorry. So when you say the same thing to yourself, you're just like, yo, you're doing the same thing. It's affirming. You're declaring how you've been. You're declaring how you're growing to be. So survival emotions, tap into, is there one of these emotions that you experience every day? Here's the survival emotions, y'all. We tapping in every day, come on. If you tap in every day, you're only gonna grow up from there. Every day, you get better when you grow, when you learn, when you become. Survival emotions, write any of these down in your journal. All that apply, and share this video to 5 friends. Insecurity, hatred, judgment, victimization, worry, guilt, depression, shame, anxiety. Are you experiencing any of these survival emotions daily and consistently? Survival emotions, suffering, frustration, regret, fear, greed, sadness, disgust, envy, anger, resentment, unworthiness, lack. I don't have enough. If I had this, it would be better. I need this to do that. That's one major one. Think about that one. Have you been experiencing? We're just tapping into C. Write that one down. Okay? Okay, we're sending love to you, Abena. And you don't have to go into the dark hole because you can go to the infinite source and get fueled up. Okay? And when you declare, all of these emotionals are happening within us from time to time. It's happening. And now we've declared that. We're gonna start thinking that. And the question is, can you pick more than one? Yes, you can. You can pick, because guess what? These emotions attack to each other like a train. Frustration comes with hate, comes with judgment and envy and insecurity and competitiveness and selfishness. They kind of like go together sometimes. So now we're thinking about, how do we observe how it feels? Now that we just brought all that up and you're feeling those, how do you feel right now? Right, literally, I'm asking you, how do you feel in your body? Like, close your eyes and really feel how what emotions that brought to you. And then think about it. What thoughts literally lead to these emotions? What are you thinking when you're experiencing those emotions? So what are you thinking when you're experiencing lack? What are you thinking when you're experiencing dark anxiety and depression and fear and worry and regret and uncertainty and resentment and anger? How does it feel in your body? Take note of that. All right? Know that that's just your body, and you could transform that. And then now, the state of mind. How are you usually thinking when you're in these emotional states? What are you usually thinking about? What are the words, right? Do you feel like do you feel a feeling of self-importance, right? Do you feel competitive? Do you feel overwhelmed? Are you blaming people? Are you a little bit confused, right? So declare that, hey, I'm experiencing this emotion every day, insert emotion. And when I'm experiencing these emotions, I'm in the state of mind of and I'm going to list competitiveness, overwhelming, complaining, blaming, confusion, distracting, self-pitying, or desperate. Okay, fill in the blanks. I usually feel blank when I'm this. Insert emotional state. I usually feel confused when I'm overwhelmed. We could do a journal like that, right? Journal entry. This is declaring. Now, we're not affirming, we're just declaring that this is how it feels. Or we could even declare in the past. This is a mind trick. I created this. I didn't read this from anywhere. I created it. This is called declaring in the past, because everything you did within the next second is in the past. Let's really think about this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to pour a cup of tea. Watch the water pour. Boom. Okay, when did that happen? A second ago. Everything I said happened in the past, y'all. That's true. Everything I just said happened in the past. So here's my declarative statement. I used to be overwhelmed. I used to be overwhelmed when I'm feeling fearful. But now I'm stepping into courage and I'm letting go of fear. And you're like, but that was 1 second ago I was like that. Well, if you keep putting in the past and you keep putting forth action towards the future, you automatically is applying the principle that everything that was once is in the past. So this is a journal entry. I used to feel like I'm in lack when I realized, and then I realized that I am everything that I need. I used to be shy because I feel like I needed somebody to accept me in order to be myself. I need to be needy. These are the words of limiting states of mind, because I feel like they led my life, or whatever it is. This is just, I'm just creating random opportunities to write. So we did this in the Rising when we talked about these different statements, right? So declaring is one of the most difficult things, and admitting them, but you could only just do it by yourself or to God, right? And when you're doing it, when you're declaring, don't have a sense of punishment. Like, don't do it to punish yourself. So no punishment. Declaring doesn't come with punishment. So don't try to punish yourself when you're declaring how you used to be, what you did, who you were, how you felt. No judgment. Don't try to judge yourself at that point, right? No manipulation. Don't try to manipulate yourself, right? And God is not going to manipulate you when you talk to yourself. No emotional abandonment. Nobody's going to leave you because you shared something emotional. When you share that within you and communicate to God, there's no emotional abandonment. There's no blame, no scorekeeping. God is not going to blame you. As the book says, the infinite source is not going to blame you. There's no blame. There's no rejection. You're not going to lose love because you admitted this out to the universe, to God, to the field. You're like, you're not damnate. You're not going to hell. You're not going to be damnate. It's not going to damnation because you admitted it. And in fact, you're going to be freed when you admit it. Admitting helped you free it. It was what it was. Like Aisha said, it was in the past. And you're not going to be banished. You're not going to be banished. You could still just create a new stuff. You're not going to be banished and say that you can't do, like, it's not like a family member would react. It's not like a manipulative friend would react. It's not like a manipulative spouse would react. It's not like somebody who hasn't grown would react. When you share that, you feel love. You feel like you can move forward. When you release that, when you declare and decree, when you forgive, when you let go, when you admit, and then you have faith that you're going to become better. You declare what you want. And then now you have faith that you're going to grow. So telling the truth about yourself, who you were in the past, what you used to do, is freeing. But then you got to do it. You got to, what's the title? What's the word that the author used? All right? But it's that place where you really ask for forgiveness. Right? And it's the space where you have to be vulnerable enough to just kind of like let go, right? They say let go and let God. They say have ultimate faith that everything's going to work out. That's what we got to do, you know? At some point, we just have to believe like, yo, I know this is how I've been being, but it's not going to be the same anymore because I'm not the same person. Get what I'm saying? Like, I know this is how it has. We have to surrender it all. Like, we have to let it go. We have to, sometimes that even takes saying that and feeling, like even crying, yo, that's surrendering, yo. Like there's a yoga pose called, what is it called? It's child's pose. That really opens up the spots, the sacral chakra. But it's also like, as you surrender and you're in the child's pose, you're opening up your sacral chakra. You're vulnerable on the floor like a child. It's almost like your head is down. It's almost like you're surrendering to God, right? I don't know if you have ever been in church where you put your head down. In various cultures, various religions, everybody put their head down as a sign of respect. But then in the movement itself opens up different parts. So it's like a stretch. So there's a song that I really love. Like, it's this song called I Surrender All. It's like really emotional Christian song I used to listen to. I guess I should listen to it again. All right, it's really awesome. It really gets you. It's like, imagine you just go, you do that whole meditation, you do the breathing, you go back to today's Rising Prime. I have the whole video, right? You go through that and you do it over. You go through the meditation and then you listen to that song. And you just open up your heart. You could even do some Qigong. This movement open up your heart. You know how you do this in church? It's actually a movement in Qigong that lifts the heart out of its nest by raising your arm and swinging it like this. You say I surrender all, you do that, waving your hands, all these things that we've been doing, they're actually healing tools, but nobody shares it. This, when we praise the Lord, we're opening up our heart. And your heart have to be like a child to receive. And for your heart to be like a child, you have to be vulnerable. You got to be willing to share your emotions. You got to be willing to ask for the solution. You have to be willing to go like child's pose. Everything is connected, y'all. It's just everybody is so like, this is culture, let's stick to this, that we're not seeing the connection. Like child, be like a child, heart, open up your heart, surrender. When you surrender, what do? I surrender. Like, what do you do? Same motions, different cultures, same movements. Qigong, yoga, in church, you're like, raise your... Get what I'm saying? Intention is everything, y'all. Knowledge allows you to break the chains of tradition and follow your intention and know what's, this is what I'm doing, y'all. So I'm just being used now. I'm kind of like, this is pretty interesting. This needs to go in the book, right? But yeah, I surrender all and I give it all to you. That song is the perfect song. We need to do that tomorrow. I surrender all and I give it all to you. Now, not everybody believes in the same thing, right? Even if you say you give it all to your higher self, God is still going to somehow listen to you and fulfill your needs. God is amazing, right? While we always say we got to pray to the God of, he tends to listen to people who have faith and believe that something is going to work. Like, some people don't pray. How come they still manifest, but they don't pray? Interesting, right? They don't pray. Some people don't go to church. They don't believe in God. They don't pray, but they have happy moments. They still create stuff. They still get used. Some people are still good people. Like, they still help people. God still uses them, but they don't pray. Think about it. I want you to think about it. Before you went to church, or if you never went to church at all, it's okay. But before you even prayed or meditated or did anything, when you kind of believed as a kid or just like be willing to surrender, didn't things kind of happen for you? Like, did you see things happen even when you didn't intentionally say, I'm praying? When your energies was in happiness and joy and you said some things, did you kind of manifest at some point in your life? I'm asking you. Did you manifest? Comment this. Did you manifest without even like going to church or praying before? So it's available to all of us, regardless of our beliefs, is what I'm saying. There are even laws. They call it the law of attraction. They call it like, you got to have this. Like, it seems to work. It seems to work no matter what name you put on it, is what I'm noticing. It seems to work no matter what name you put on it. But then there seems to be a force that works with you when you actually give credit to and you name it. Whatever you name and give credit to, it kind of, then you associate yourself with it. So some people then, to that extent, I don't even understand how it works from there. I'm still learning how that it is. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know how come when people label it differently, they tend to have different perspective. Maybe it's the traditions. I haven't downloaded that answer. But what I can observe right now in my state of a development is that some way, somehow, no matter how people label it, if they follow the laws, they still sort of can create peace and joy within it. You know? I'm enthused to learn how it all works. But if we knew it all, we'd just be demigods. And it'd be dangerous if we were all demigods. We had the God within us to create. But if we could just know everything, not all of us would just, like, if we didn't have to go through pain and we just could just create whatever we want, we would abuse it. But we have to go through this development process so we can really be molded and develop the character as creative beings to then create. You know, being a demigod is like, you don't experience certain emotional states. There's no shame or blame or guilt. You just infinite love. Imagine if everybody came to the earth like that. That's why we have to go through the straightening of character so we can use that power more effectively. Because if we were all demigods, we all would try to make the world go our way. Think about it. If everybody wanted the world to go their way, it'd be crazy. And people are still trying to do that till today. A lot of people right now are still trying to make the world go their way. They're trying to play demigods. They're trying to control the population, control what we eat, what we do, how we wear, how we put masks on our face. We can't live a world like that. Everybody, self-interest, they want to create, like, choose how we live, like, and how our spirits are nourished. So God in his infinite, or the infinite wisdom of God, is just like, yo, guess what? I will allow you to be a creator, but you got to kind of go through development process. You got to go through human challenges. So hopefully, as you go through these things, you'll be molded in such a way where you could discover the meaning of life, and you won't you won't abuse the power. Some people still do, but then I can even have a recruitment tool to get you to do good in the world. You know, some people out of pain, they create art. They do something amazing with it. They launch something. So I'm saying to you, out of your pain, you can create a being that you never thought you could be. Because you're like, yo, I'm surrendering who I once was, and I'm letting God create a new me within me. Declare and decree that, and it will happen, and it's possible for you, all right? So that's my message, and I'm sticking to it, y'all. So hope that added some value to you. And with that being said, remember, like, you have the unlimited power to transform who you were. Like, just declare it, like, admit to it. Yo, this is who I once was. And then have the willingness to literally let go and let God, to surrender it all, like detach from things and just say, hey, I'm going to detach from how I used to be. Somebody put out this very toxic thought. And the thought was, I'm afraid to heal because I'm afraid I might become lame. Don't be that. Peace is not being lame. Peace is taming your animal nature and finally stepping into your power. Having peace is not being lame. Some people say, if I heal now, I can't have these relationships, so I'll be lame. If I'm healed now, I can't go to these clubs, so I'll be lame. If I'm healed now, I can't eat or drink this, so I'll be lame. If I'm healed, then I won't be eating this. That's a spirit of lack. When you heal, you're going to have abundance. You got to forego the spirit of lack, step into abundance, because healing only brings forth abundance. You're not going to lack things because you let go. When you let go, you let God, you tap into everything that's available. When you let go and you let God, you tap into everything that's available, bro. When you heal, you're not going to lack anything. You're going to grow into everything. When you heal, you're not going to lack anything. You're going to grow into everything. You're going to step into the infinite source of creation, and you're going to be able to manifest what you want. It's almost like you're sitting there, you're creating your life. You're moving the pieces. Of course, it's going to be hard. Of course, it's going to be hard. But yeah, got to keep healing, because toxicity is lame. Healing is not. Thank you, Kay. Toxicity is lame. It's toxic to be lame because that's lack of education. But when you unlearn and you learn and you grow and you let go, you're going to grow. So let go, baby, and let's grow. Let go and let's grow. That's my message, y'all. So keep growing, yo. Keep growing to another level every day. You're just getting better. People are going to be like, yo, what do you mean you don't eat? Yo, I'm getting better. I'm elevating in my spirits. You get what I'm saying? I'm elevating. You got to elevate every day. Yo, I'm grateful to share this message for you because honestly, there was a time in my life when I needed to hear this exact message and I didn't quite hear it like this. So I'm grateful that God is using me to share it with. And don't turn your mess into a message and do the same for someone else. Because just like I'm sharing this message to you and it's empowering you, somebody's gonna need to hear your story to empower them. Each one, we keep growing. We keep lighting each other up every day. We gotta do it to each other. That's what being a tribe is about. We gotta be the light. When we all go out and we're like, yo, we're part of the Holistic Lifestyle Tribe, you radiate that. You help people grow, you share that. So we have to all go out and empower people every day. You gotta tap in. You can't be afraid to share your light because it's gonna be too bright. Sometimes your brightness is what somebody else needs to get out of darkness. Sometimes your brightness is what somebody else needs to get out of darkness, y'all. So don't forget to share your light. Because if the more you dim your light, the more the world will forever miss all your talents, all your gifts, and all the great things you got to offer. So remember, keep shining, keep growing, keep becoming the person you were destined to be. That is my message, and I am sticking to it, y'all. If you want to grow with me and us, the tribe, every day, go to edtalksdaily.com. Go to edtalksdaily.com, subscribe to the podcast, go to holisticlifestyletribe.com and join the tribe, right? Join the tribe, y'all. We do this growth every day. Like, we go in. Like, yo, this stuff is so valuable. If I had this 5 years ago, I would have been doing this 3 years ago, or at least 2 years ago. I would have been way farther, I promise you. So trust me, y'all. God is working with all of us in the tribe to empower each other. Because at first it was just me and a couple of people. Now everybody is putting in the bucket, yo. Everybody's bringing food to the table, and we're growing collectively. And you remember, it was just a vision. Like, this started off as a vision, bro. Remember when I sent you a message, and then it was like, what do you think about a community? Remember, I really want you to think about this. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. Let's be honest here. Remember a couple months ago when I texted you, would it be nice, what should be included? Everybody text me something back. I took a piece of what everybody said and I said, oh, great idea. And now it's here. We built this together. We are building something that's going to change millions of people's lives. Millions. Like, your name, you're going to leave a legacy. Because now, every day developing yourself, you're doing the works of the greats. Okay, I want to really put it out to you. When you rise early, why you think it's just the time for this session? It's the time where champions are built. It's the time when eagles rise to start to take a trip before all the pigeons start walking down the ground. Eagles go for the trip, and they don't need the flock. Now, I love how birds travel in flocks, but the eagles, they're like, oh, we're going to be on the top, bro. We straight. Let's go. I think they do travel in flocks, but they're not down with all the birds. They're definitely not on the ground. But the eagles, they're up early. They're flying, yo. So we are like those eagles in the rising. So y'all might not notice it, or you've not tapped into the tribe yet. If you haven't, Rising Prime session, I have it every Friday. It's coming this Friday. You are a game changer. You rise up like an eagle. You prime like an eagle. And you put... So many people have not heard a message like this for a while. Or some people have not heard a message like this in ever. This is just one podcast that I'm doing. Some people have never heard about this, ever. Think about that. So when you hear about it, you gotta act on it. Some of the things I'm sharing with you were things that I heard about, acted about, embodied it, shared it back to you. And then somebody says, yo, that works. I'm like, yo, it worked. It did. Put in the work every day. I used to have to wake up like at For instance, everything I'm doing now, okay, I know we're going a bit overtime, but I feel like I want to share this with you because some of you, like, you might not see how your dream is already becoming true, but it's already becoming true. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I really want you to see this point that I'm about to make. I would rise every day at 7:30 a.m. for the last since 2015. But now I'm still rising at that time. I want you to listen to this right quick. I rise at 7:30 a.m., 7 a.m. since 2015, either doing sessions, personal training sessions, either following my mentor who was teaching me Qigong, or just rising and doing some sort of personal development at 7 a.m. So what I used to do at 7 a.m. to learn or to teach one-on-one, I'm not doing every day online with a tribe of people. You see that? Think about it. What I used to do at 7 a.m. alone and what I did at 4:30 a.m., I took what I did at 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and I put it in 7:30, and now I do it live. And it helps people. It's all I ever wanted to do in my life. That's it. I'm an Aquarius. So you kind of know, put two and two together, right? I just have a heart for people. I just want to help people. I don't know. I want to help people. Everybody said, what do you want? I want to help people, right? Everything I'm doing now, I did at that. It was just all the stuff I was doing. Learning how to study, I can study and put things in notes. Knowing how to communicate, everything I did, I'm doing now. I live my life doing what I love. And I'm growing to do it better each day. I'm going to reach more and more people and impact more people, as will you. It starts with developing yourself. Everything you're doing now is what you're going to invest and are investing now to other people, which is going to build you and your business, and is going to build a legacy when you leave. So keep doing it. Stick to it. It's important. Put a little bit extra focus, a little bit extra study, a little bit extra application, a little bit more seriousness, showing up more, asking more questions, really tapping in, really seeing what's going on. Not just seeing as it is, but as it can be, as it will be. A vision will allow you to see more than what you're currently seeing. It'll expand it. So you could get more from the community if you see more in it. If you see opportunity. If you really think how you can prosper. So, holisticlifestyletribe.com, y'all. Check it out. I'm going to see y'all Rising Prime. And let's get we get mindful movement. Let's get moving, get our chi flowing. Personal development. And then we get affirmations. And then that's it. Rising Prime, link in my bio. Y'all have a great day. Stay blessed. Stay in your power. And subscribe to the podcast, edtalksdaily.com. And I'd say go leave your boy a review, man. I'm doing these full on. Yo, these are valuable. So leave a review for me. Like, do it for me, y'all. Go leave a review on iTunes or your podcast.